Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Welcome to a new week and a new assignment upcoming with 2 discussion questions. Let's get at it. I have recently graded all of your SMAs and your choosing a channel assignments. Please look over my feedback. There were a couple that were amazing assignments and you're going to make a difference in your client's future. But again, that's the first assignment. For some groups, it's just trying to get the pace. And we're going to do the persona this week. It's closing off tonight. The map next week. And that's what I'm doing the video for. Okay, cool. So we cruise down to week 5. There are 2 discussion questions that I strongly recommend you looking at. One of which is Steven. He's going to talk to you about how to create a client journey map. This discussion question is critical. If you don't watch, it's going to be very hard to figure out what client journey map is. What client journey map is from awareness of your product or service to purchase and eventually hopefully becoming an advocate. How does your client move through that funnel, the sales funnel, the client journey? It's going to be different depending on your business model. So I'm going to give you a couple examples to be able to differentiate. Let's jump back out. That's the first discussion question. Watch it. And then Tori is going to talk about Instagram marketing and how you can effectively use Instagram to your advantage when you're marketing. So those are 2 discussion questions this week. I've really liked in this class, you've been active with your discussion questions, both classes, I should say. And here's your client journey map. Client journey map, here's the assignment unto itself. What you're doing is looking at the 2 personas you created. So those 2 personas are going to come into play this week as we're embarking to do your client journey mapping. In the client journey map, you want to identify touch points, list out all the touch points where a customer interacts with a business, define stages, and now you'll find when I show you the examples, there's different stages depending on your business, map emotions and actions, and brainstorm solutions. Once again, I'm going to encourage you to use ChatGPT to start this work. And then you'll see through the examples, how the personal flavor of each team came through and the branding of the client. Okay, so with that said, let's look at the examples. They're really good. The first one was Willamette Valley. This is a group that I worked with last year at GFU. And they first have to identify what stages they're using and why. You'll need to do the same thing for your assignment. So they chose awareness, consideration, booking, experience, and loyalty. This one is very unique, but it is supposed to be categorized for the business they're working with. Also, experience is very unique. So you need to figure out what 5 steps you're using and then giving me a definition thereof. Then they took one of the clients that they did for client persona, Lisa Davis, and stepped her through each stage, the awareness stage, consideration stage, booking, experience, and loyalty. What are the customer's actions going through each of these phases? What are the touch points they're encountering each of these phases? What's the customer experience? What are some pain points that customers experience? And then solutions to make sure you get the best of the experience. And then the other client persona they created was for Robert Miller. And they did the same steps. This is a hard assignment. I'm going to be looking at specifically each bubble and making sure it makes sense, it's personalized, it is something in the voice of your team. So if we jump back out and look at the Cascade Direct, another team I worked with last year, let's scoot this down and zoom. Now you can see there's a difference. Awareness, consideration, decision, service, and loyalty. So these 2 shifted. And sometimes this one shifts as well. Some of this one sometimes becomes advocate or return client. So again, as a team, you need to figure out which 5 are best. And just like the last assignment, they took their 2 client personas, Lisa Williams was one, and stepped Lisa through each phase. What I liked about this work, they went even deeper. They looked at 2 points of awareness, 2 points of consideration, 2 points of decision making for each section. And then Jake Thompson is here. Really good, critical, detailed work that will come in play for future assignments. This is something I've heard from the client. So I'll talk to all your clients when the term ends. Has been one of the most helpful assignments if you do it right, because they have never done this in their business. I pretty much can guarantee of the businesses we're working with this semester, none of them have done this. However, it is so helpful once you understand where your bottlenecks are. So you're doing an amazing service for your business owners. And you want to send this out like anything else you do to your client. Okay, those are the 2 assignments. Now, I want to also just give you a little forewarning is the week thereafter, we're going to start building a brand story, and this is a massive assignment. This is one of those assignments where you're going to have subgroups, 2 people working on one section, 2 people working on another section. Sometimes this work product gets up to 13 pages, 14 pages. And you'll see it once we get there. We're not there yet. We're still here looking at client journey, but I do want you to take a little glimpse into building a brand story. And then we get into software media management tools. There's a lot of stuff upcoming, but client journey mapping, remember, what's most important is you're taking those 2 personas you created this week and now bringing them into your map. They can't be for 2 new people. I want to see the connectivity. Okay, folks, this is great. If you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. I really appreciate all the project managers' summary emails I'm receiving and giving me high-level understanding how the team's performing. And also I've heard from a couple project managers of how they enjoy working with a live client. So continue always keeping that in mind, is this live client is getting not just an opportunity to work with college students, but an opportunity to get some work product they couldn't afford as a small business owner right now. So what a blessing. Okay, folks, take care. Talk to you next week.